Her name was Jerry Nicole Anderson. She was 24 years old when she disappeared from Detroit, Michigan on October 11th, 1990, and she has never been heard from or seen again. Jerry reportedly told her loved ones she was traveling to Chicago, though it's unclear whether she planned to visit or relocate, and no confirmed reason for the trip has ever been shared publicly. About 2 weeks after she vanished, her father received a letter from her saying she had signed over the title of her burgundy maroon 1987 Ford Mercury to a known drug dealer. The identity of that person has never been made public, and no one has seen or heard from Jerry since. At the time of her disappearance, Jerry stood between 5'8" and 5'10", weighed about 120 to 150 pounds, and had black or dark brown hair and brown eyes. She had pierced ears and a dark birthmark on the upper left side of her chest, details that may help identify her if someone ever comes forward. Jerry deserved safety. She deserves answers. She deserves to be found. And most importantly, her family deserves answers. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Jerry Nicole Anderson. Share her story and don't let her be forgotten. Her name was Kiera Stubbs. She was 23 years old when she disappeared from Birmingham, Alabama on April 24, 2014, after leaving a Boost Mobile store where she planned to meet a man she knew, someone she trusted to help her with her car. In surveillance footage, Kiera is seen walking up to the man's vehicle, a burgundy 2012 Chrysler 200, then getting inside. That was the last confirmed sighting of her alive. She never answered her phone again, she never made it home, and she never showed up to work. Her family reported her missing when she didn't return and couldn't be reached. In the years since, law enforcement has conducted searches and executed warrants, but no remains have been found and no arrests have been made public. Kiera was a mother and a daughter, loved dearly, someone who deserved protection, answers, and justice. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Kiera Stubbs. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her name was Lovis Renee Simmons. She was 22 years old when she disappeared from Chicago, Illinois on December 27, 1998, just 2 days after Christmas. That day, Lovis had spent time at a holiday party at her boyfriend's home with family and friends. Witnesses say she left saying she was going straight home, but she was never seen or heard from again. Her family became alarmed when she didn't show up for work the following Monday, and she was reported missing shortly after. Despite the early concern, very little information has ever been released publicly about her case, and as of today, it remains unsolved more than 2 decades later. At the time of her disappearance, Lovis stood 5'6" or 5'8", weighed about 135 to 145 pounds, and had brown hair and brown eyes. She also had a distinctive pea-sized birthmark on her chin and pierced ears, details that could help identify her if someone comes forward with information. Lovis deserved safety. She deserved answers. Her family deserves answers. Most importantly, she deserves to be found and deserves to come home. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Lovis Renee Simmons. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her name was Kim Teresa Williams. She was 37 years old when she vanished on June 20th, 1995 in La Mesa, California, a city in San Diego County. That day, Kim was at an apartment with Michael Greg Green, a man she had been involved with, and witnesses heard a violent argument between them before police were called. Officers arrived too late to find Kim, and by the time police got there, Green had driven away in his van with Kim in the passenger seat, sitting upright but unresponsive and never to be seen or heard from again. Kim had previously told people she feared for her life and that Green was violent, yet she vanished without explanation and has never been found. Investigators later convicted Michael Greg Green of her murder even without a body ever being recovered, and he was sentenced to 131 years to life in prison. At the time, Kim stood about 5'5", weighed about 120 pounds, and had black hair and brown eyes. She was last seen wearing a purple t-shirt and blue Levi jeans. Kim deserved safety. She deserved justice. And most importantly, she deserved to come home. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Kim Teresa Williams. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Their names were Takisa Wallace and Shaquinia Burnett. They were 34 and 36 years old, lifelong friends who vanished without a trace from North Little Rock, Arkansas on January 10, 2014. And as of today, their disappearances remain unsolved. The two women had stayed in contact by phone and text that day, and their phones pinged off the same tower shortly before all activity stopped. Takisa had dropped her 5-year-old son off with family and never returned. Her white 2009 Toyota Corolla has also never been found. Shaquinia was last seen the day before on January 9, 2014, and nearly 2 years later, in December 2015, a human leg was found in the Arkansas River, was later identified as hers, and her death was ruled a homicide. Takisa's family believes she wouldn't have walked away without contact, and some hope she may have gone to Texas, but there's no confirmed sighting, no answers, and no closure. Both women deserve answers. Both women deserved safety. Neither of them should be forgotten, and they both deserved to come home. Their lives mattered. Their stories matter. Their names matter. Say their names, Takisa Wallace and Shaquinia Burnett. Share their story, and don't let them be forgotten. Her name was Sherry Lynette Stout. She was 35 years old when she and her 1-year-old daughter vanished from Elizabeth, New Jersey on January 13, 2005. They were last seen together in the early morning hours near the 200 block of South Street and have not been seen since. Her daughter was eventually found safe in the Bronx in June 2009 after living with a family for years under a false name. But Sherry herself, as of today, still remains missing. Sherry was described as 5'3", weighing roughly 130 to 135 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes and pierced ears. The circumstances surrounding her disappearance are still unclear. She simply walked away with her little girl that night and never returned, leaving unanswered questions behind. And despite the emotional impact and the years of uncertainty, her case has received very limited media attention and remains unsolved. Sherry deserved safety. Her daughter deserved to grow up with her mother. Her family deserves answers. And most importantly, Sherry deserved to come home. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Sherry Lynette Stout. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her name was Brianna Wood. She was 21 years old when she went missing in October 2016 from Corpus Christi, Texas, after being last seen at a PMI convenience store with her ex-boyfriend, Joseph Tejada. Brianna's family reported her missing after she never made it home, and a few months later, her remains were found in early January 2017 in a rural area near an abandoned property inside a box sealed with duct tape. An inmate later told police he was paid to help hide her body and that Tejada confessed he shot her in the back of the head, broke her arms, and physically abused her corpse. Details later supported by the medical examiner. Police arrested multiple people in connection with her killing. One man took a plea deal and served 10 years. Another, Joseph Tejada, pleaded guilty to murder and related charges, receiving a 25-year sentence, though some sentences run concurrently. Brianna deserved safety. Brianna deserved justice. Most importantly, she deserved to grow old and live her life, and her family deserves answers. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Brianna Wood. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her name was Sunny Toe. She was 24 years old, a Black woman last seen in Lawrenceville, Georgia on December 26, 2020, the day after Christmas. She has never been seen, heard from, or found. Sunny had moved from Champaign, Illinois to Georgia just months before she vanished. Described by loved ones as family-oriented, an exceptional student, and active in her church, someone who wouldn't just disappear without contacting her family. About a month before she went missing, Sunny was found in the woods covered in mud and injured. She told her sister she wasn't touched, but seemed disoriented, hinting that something traumatic had happened to her. After that incident, Sunny stayed with her sister in Lawrenceville. On New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2020, she left her sister's home wearing a yellow dress and was never heard from again. Her cell phone was turned off after she walked away. She did not have her own car, and no confirmed sightings have ever been verified. Almost a year later, her father received a tip that she may have been seen in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and he spent days handing out flyers in the area, talking to people who thought they recognized her, but nothing was ever confirmed. A private investigator on the case believes Sunny may have been a victim of human trafficking because of suspicious circumstances before her disappearance and the type of contacts she had. But as of today, nothing has been proven. Sunny deserved protection. Her family deserves answers. Most importantly, Sunny deserves to be found and to come home. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Sunny Toe. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her name was Cynthia Linda Alonzo. She was 48 years old when she vanished on Thanksgiving Day, November 24th, 2004, in Oakland, California, while planning to drive to her mother's house for the holiday. Cynthia was last seen getting into a car with her boyfriend, Eric Mora, her partner at the time, and she was never seen again. Family members became alarmed when she failed to show up for Thanksgiving dinner, and her personal belongings were still at her home, including items she would not have left behind if she had left voluntarily. An investigation followed. Evidence, including blood matched to Cynthia and suspicious signs in Mora's home and vehicle, made him the lead suspect. In February 2012, Mora was convicted of second-degree murder despite the absence of a body and sentenced to 15 years to life in prison. His conviction was later overturned, but he confessed in 2016 to killing Cynthia and burying her remains near 7th and Maritime Streets in West Oakland. Though investigators struggled for years to locate her remains, in May 2022, a work crew uncovered a body wrapped in tarps in a shallow grave that was later identified as Cynthia, finally giving her family long-awaited closure after nearly 18 years. Cynthia deserved answers. Cynthia deserved justice. Most importantly, she deserved to be found, and she deserved to come home. Cynthia's story received little to no media attention. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Cynthia Linda Alonzo. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her name was Chrislyn Gibson. She was 35 years old, a black woman, and a devoted mother who disappeared on April 2nd, 2016, during a trip to Austin, Texas, with a longtime friend. They had driven from Houston to attend the Urban Music Festival and spent the night out before vanishing without a trace. Later that night, or in the early hours of April 2nd, Chrislyn and her friend, Sydney Taylor, were captured on surveillance leaving a club called the Landing Strip in Austin. That would be the last confirmed time anyone saw either of them alive. Police believe the last person seen with Chrislyn and Sydney was Harvey Hootie Cyphers, who investigators later focused on as a person of interest. Cell phone data showed all three together into the morning and then traveling toward Houston. A few days after their disappearance, Sydney's car was found abandoned in Midtown Houston, over 150 miles from where they were last seen. Inside, investigators found a large pool of blood, dried hair, and other evidence suggesting foul play. Police searched Cypher's home and found blood evidence and other suspicious items. Over time, prosecutors charged him with tampering with physical evidence in relation to the case. He later pleaded guilty to that charge and received a 25-year prison sentence, but the murder charges remain unresolved, and Chrislyn's body has never been found. Chrislyn was a single mom whose life was full of love and responsibility. She would never have disappeared voluntarily. Her young son deserves answers. Chrislyn deserved safety. She deserved to come home. She also deserves justice. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Chrislyn Gibson. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her name was Veranda K. Sanders. She was 60 years old when she vanished from Houston, Texas on October 17, 2018, while riding her bicycle, and she has never been seen or heard from since. That day, Veranda was riding a light teal-colored Huffy Good Vibrations women's cruiser bicycle with a big black seat through the South Park area near MLK Boulevard and Belford Avenue. Her bicycle and her both disappeared and have not been recovered. Veranda was described as about 5'3", weighing around 135 pounds, with brown eyes and black or dark brown hair, pierced ears, and small moles under both eyes. She also has a pockmark on her nose and a small rose tattoo on her shoulder. Her family has shared deep frustration with how her case was handled. They say they received few updates from law enforcement, and even when they tried to raise awareness, they felt ignored. Just one of several black women who went missing in that neighborhood around that same time. Veranda served her country as an Army veteran, and her loved ones say she always made it home. She would never just vanish without a trace. Yet years later, her absence remains baffling, and her bicycle, an everyday object, remains missing, as does she. Veranda deserved answers. Veranda deserved basic care. She deserves to be found, and she deserved to come home. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Veranda K. Sanders. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her name was Cheryl Lamont Pearson. She was 37 years old, a black pediatrician, and a mother who vanished from Bartlett, Tennessee in the early hours of January 5, 2002, after what should have been an ordinary night. Earlier that evening, Cheryl had gone alone to a Memphis Grizzlies basketball game and later returned home to spend time with a friend. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, but about 1:58 a.m., Cheryl answered a mysterious phone call that lasted only a few seconds, and that was the last confirmed evidence of her presence. The next morning, her sister arrived to drop off children Cheryl was supposed to babysit, but Cheryl and her car were gone. Her cell phone, pager, and insulin pump were all left behind in her home. dangerous given Cheryl had type 1 diabetes. Days later, investigators found her vehicle locked and cleaned so thoroughly no fingerprints remained, including her own. Cash and personal items were left undisturbed, suggesting nothing was stolen and raising chilling questions about what happened to Cheryl. Dr. Pearson had no known enemies, was beloved by her family and patients, and would never have walked away voluntarily, especially leaving behind life-saving medication and her own calling gear. Police have never named a suspect, and her disappearance, as of today, remains unsolved more than 2 decades later. Cheryl deserved answers. She deserved safety. And most importantly, like so many other Black women, she deserved to come home. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Cheryl Lamont Pearson. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her name was Alyssa Marie Vasquez. She was 12 years old when she disappeared from Doraville, Georgia on January 28, 2003, her very first day at a new school in Clarkston, Georgia. That afternoon, Alyssa boarded a public bus to go home, but she never got off at her stop and no one reported seeing her exit the bus. It was as if she vanished into thin air. Earlier that day, she'd called her mother during lunch, excited about her new school, and even asked if she could style her hair like the other girls when she got home. At the time she went missing, Alyssa was described as about 5'1", weighing 117 pounds, with brown hair and hazel eyes. She is biracial, Black and Hispanic, with pierced ears, a small scar under her chin from stitches, and a scar under her right shoulder, details that could help identify her. She was last seen wearing a blue ski jacket with a white stripe, dark blue jeans, and white sneakers. For years after she disappeared, police mistakenly classified her as a runaway, delaying deeper investigation. Her case was later reclassified as an endangered missing child, but precious time had already been lost and the trail remains cold. Alyssa's family has never stopped hoping for answers. They continue to stand by her case, share her story, and plead for anyone with information to come forward. Alyssa deserved protection. She deserved answers. And most importantly, like so many other Black women, she deserved to come home. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Alyssa Marie Vasquez. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her name was Maddie B. Wilson. She was 55 years old and a Black woman who vanished from Memphis, Tennessee on July 30th, 2008. Maddie had suffered multiple strokes, most recently just 3 weeks before she went missing, and as a result, she now had slurred speech, walked with a limp, and may have experienced memory loss, making her disappearance even more concerning. Her daughter was trying to get her into a nursing home when doctors discharged her from the hospital without telling her family. Instead of going home, Maddie was placed at the Restoration House homeless shelter in the Fraser section of Memphis. Within about an hour of arriving, before the shelter even processed her paperwork, Maddie went outside for a cigarette and never returned. She has never been seen or heard from again. At the time she disappeared, Maddie was described as around 5'5", approximately 106 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Her family has remained hopeful for answers, but there have been no confirmed leads or public updates in her case, and it has received minimal national media attention, a reality far too common with missing Black women and seniors with medical vulnerability. Maddie deserved safety. She deserved care. She deserved to be protected, and most importantly, she deserved to come home. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Maddie B. Wilson. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her name was Dewan Shaw Gibson. She was 20 years old when she disappeared from Hinesville, Georgia on September 13, 2004. DeJuan was last seen at her home on the 1100 block of Raleigh Drive around 10:30 p.m. that night. She has never been seen or heard from again. At the time of her disappearance, DeJuan was about 5'7", weighed around 120 pounds, and had dark hair and brown eyes. She had pierced ears and a tattoo of footprints on her right thigh. She was last seen wearing a white t-shirt, blue jogging pants, and light-colored slippers. DeJuan was also wearing a gold wedding ring on her left hand and a gold ring on her right hand. Despite the circumstances, her disappearance received very little media attention. No national headlines, no sustained coverage, just a family left waiting for answers. DeJuan deserved safety. She deserved protection. And most importantly, she deserved to come home. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, DeJuan Shaw Gibson. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her name is Alex Raquel Jackson. She was 36 years old when she vanished from Cleveland, Ohio on August 1st, 2020. Alexis has not been seen or heard from since. Her family describes her as a caring woman with loved ones who feared for her safety the moment she disappeared. She is 5'4", weighing 115 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Alexis often wore wigs in various colors and had multiple tattoos, including the word Sexy Lex on her forearm and star designs on her hands and shoulders. Her social media had been mostly inactive in the years prior, and her loved ones continued to hope for answers. Despite the fear and uncertainty her family endures every day, her case has received very little media attention. No national headlines, no urgent outcry, just a family left searching for a loved one and searching for justice. Alexis deserved safety. Her family deserves answers. And most importantly, she deserves to come home. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Alexis Raquel Jackson. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her name was Wanda Ashford Floyd. She was 60 years old, a Black woman from Cortland, Alabama. On July 15, 2020, Wanda was taken by ambulance to Decatur Morgan Hospital after experiencing a Friends and family alerted authorities when Wanda stopped communicating, something out of character for her, and law enforcement searched for months. Later that summer, human remains were found in Flint Creek in Morgan County, and DNA testing eventually confirmed the remains were Wanda's in 2021. Sadly, Wanda's family wasn't notified about her death until December 2022. An official cause of death has not been publicly released, and there has been very little media attention about what happened to her. No nonstop headlines, no urgent national coverage, just a family left to live with loss and unanswered questions. Wanda deserved protection. Wanda also deserved safety. Most importantly, Wanda's family deserves answers. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Wanda Ashford Floyd. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her name was Vernicia Woodard. She was 26 years old, a Black woman from Hapeville, Georgia. On August 22, 2014, Vernicia's body was found in a secluded area after being shot multiple times, then doused in fuel and set on fire, a brutal act meant to destroy evidence. An investigation revealed that she had met an Atlanta police officer online. That same officer was later arrested while attempting to flee the country, charged with her murder and related crimes, and ultimately sentenced to life in prison plus 16 years. At the time of her death, Bernicia left behind her 8-year-old daughter, whose life will always carry the absence of her mother. Despite the severity of her case and the involvement of law enforcement, Bernicia's story is rarely remembered in national conversations about justice and violence against Black women. Overshadowed by other headlines and ignored long after her loss, Bernicia deserved protection. She deserved safety. She deserved justice and dignity. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Bernicia Woodard. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her name was Tamala Nicole Wells. She was 33 years old when she vanished from her Detroit, Michigan home on August 6, 2012. That night, Tamala was last seen leaving her home on Appleton Street, driving her white four-door Pontiac Grand Prix. Her family spoke with her on the phone later that evening, and then Tamala disappeared. 3 days later, her car was found abandoned just a few blocks away on Coventry Street with some of her belongings inside, but there was no sign of Tamala. Tamala was a mother of 2, a nursing school graduate, and worked in home health care. Her loved ones say she wouldn't have voluntarily walked away from her children without telling them. Over the years, her mother, Donna, has continued to search, traveling from Florida to Detroit again and again, hoping for answers. Community activists and tips have surfaced, including a sighting at an abandoned house nearby, but nothing has led to the whereabouts of Tamala. Her disappearance did not receive the level of national attention it deserved. There were no nonstop headlines, no urgent widespread outcry, just a family still hoping for answers. Tamala deserved protection. She deserved safety. And most importantly, she deserved to come home. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Tamala Wells. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her case has received almost no national media attention, a reality far too common for missing Black women and girls. There were let her be forgotten. Her name was Yolanda Yvette Gooch, known by her friends and family as Vet. She was 35 years old and from Marshall, Texas. On December 26, 1999, the day after Christmas, Yolanda was last seen leaving her home carrying 2 suitcases. She never returned, and no confirmed sightings have been reported since that day. Authorities believe Yolanda may have traveled out of state, possibly to Chicago, Illinois, but her exact whereabouts as of today remain unknown. Investigators have checked local and interstate records, but no leads have produced any answers. Despite the years that have passed, her disappearance received very little media attention. There were no nonstop headlines, no widespread national coverage, just a family still waiting and hoping for answers. Her loved ones described her as kind, loving, and hardworking, someone who stayed close to her family and community, and her sudden absence left a hole in their lives that has never been filled. Yolanda deserved protection. She deserved safety. And most importantly, Yolanda deserved to come home. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Yolanda Yvette Gooch. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her name was Nicole Dillard. She was 38 years old, a Black woman, and a mother of 2 from Rialto, California. On March 27, 2017, Nicole was last seen getting into a car outside her home on Devonshire Avenue in the Green Tree Apartments. She shared that home with her 23-year-old daughter and her 21-year-old son. After that moment, she never returned home and has not been heard from again. Her disappearance was reported to authorities, and she is listed on the National Missing Persons Database. Despite her family's ongoing search and the passage of years, there have been no confirmed sightings, no public updates on what happened, and no answers regarding Nicole. Her case did not receive widespread national attention. There were no nonstop headlines, no urgent media outcry, just a family left hoping for answers. Nicole deserved protection. She deserved safety. And most importantly, she deserved to come home. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Nicole Dillard. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her name was Tanya Conley. She was 27 years old, a Black woman from Memphis, Tennessee. On July 7, 2020, Tanya was last seen leaving her aunt's home on Spoonbill Drive in the Whitehaven area. She got into her vehicle and drove away, and she was never seen again. Authorities say she was driving either a black 2018 Nissan Sentra or Versa with no tags at the time of her disappearance. The next day, when she didn't show up for work, her family grew worried and reported her missing. Her vehicle has not been located, and there have been no confirmed sightings or answers about where she went or what happened after she left. Her case did not receive widespread national attention. There was no nonstop headlines, no urgent outcry, just a family left hoping for answers. Tanya deserved protection. She deserved safety, and most importantly, she deserved to come home. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Tanya Conley. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her name was LaQuandra Siobhan Slater. She was 38 years old and from Flint Township, Michigan. Someone known by family as loving, family-oriented, and always there for holidays and birthdays. In late November 2016, LaQuandra was last seen and heard from by her loved ones. Then, on December 2, 2016, she disappeared without explanation. Shortly after, her vehicle was found abandoned near Atherton Road and Van Slyke Road in Flint. Despite ongoing concern from her family and community, there has been no significant movement in her case and no public resolution. Her disappearance remains unexplained, and investigators continue to seek information that could answer what happened to LaQuandra. Her case did not receive widespread attention. There were no national headlines, no urgent outcry, just a family left grieving, still searching for answers. LaQuandra deserved protection. She deserved safety, and she deserved to come home. Her life mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, LaQuandra Siobhan Slater. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her name mattered. Her story matters. Her name matters. Say her name, Diamond Bynum. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten. Her name was Kishay Jacobs. She was 21 years old, a young woman from Richmond, Virginia, with dreams, plans, and a family who loved her deeply. In September 2016, Kishay was last seen after spending time with friends. Soon after, she was reported missing. For years, her family searched tirelessly, holding on to hope and demanding answers. But in 2020, human remains believed to be Kishay's were found, bringing heartbreak, but still leaving many questions unanswered. Her case remains a painful reminder of how often Black women's disappearances are overlooked. Kishay mattered. Her life mattered, and her family deserves the truth. Say her name, Kishay Jacobs. Share her story, and don't let her be forgotten.